Right, here in Beer, Seaton and Devon, the idea on the front here is we're going to be taking out this front hedge, replacing it with a horizontal hit and miss fence on both sides, 6 foot tall. The client has recently purchased the property and is wanting to keep his dog in, so it's fencing all the way around. A lot of the hedges are not going to keep the dog in, so if we can take all the hedges out where required, replace them with fencing, then we can get some planting in at a later date once the boundaries are sorted. So we're going to be taking out this side hedge as well, or at least trimming it back really hard. That's the plan. Didn't quite work out on this section just because there wasn't enough room for us to get the fence in between the hedge and the path. There was cables and all sorts of things running down. In here we are planning on taking out all the big stones and rocks and all the building debris and things like that, so that's in there. If we can get rid of all the greenery as well. And then we're going to be importing 15 tons of decent quality topsoil just to give whatever gets growing there a chance to grow. We're going to be taking out this fence and installing a fence all the way around the bottom there, same style as at the front of the property, trying to avoid the drain covers so that they are still accessible on either side of the fence, and giving about a 1 metre border up the side here all the way around. So we've got a fence on the left here at about 39-40 metres. It's going to directly opposite that. There's going to be a set of gates installed on the driveway there. So we're going to be taking out the inside of that hedge right back to the stumps, so that there's room for that fence, because that hedge will definitely not keep the dog in. Either side on the terraces there where the pool is, the idea with that is to fence off a piece so that the dog can't get round there and then jump off 12 feet. Here we are removing that side hedge, just the inside, taking everything away.
Turn us to thousands, and we'll grow in number, fueled by them to see the horizon. Turn us to thousands, and on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And
it was amazing how much chip was left. The plan was to go straight down the side there. However, when we got to digging around where the power pole was, turns out there was a cable on the ground, so we've had to step the fence out around the power pole, which hides the ugly power pole a little bit, but unfortunately it means that the fence isn't straight, or as straight as possible all the way down. Here we are putting the feather edge boards on. We cut the bottom of each board every single time to try and make sure that there is no gap of peepholes underneath each board when we're feather edging on a slope.
I don't wanna waste what's left, and on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go.
And then there you get a sort of sneak preview of the fence at the front there. Not quite finished, but fence at the side here is finished and all looking really good, really tidy.
Hello!
An amazing amount of waste came out of this really quickly, and then we managed to pull the stumps out in the end. The beach was in reasonable condition, however, by the time the customer was thinking about keeping it, it was already too late.
Through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays, and on we'll go. Through the wastelands.
Thought we'd make Gareth do all the hard work. I have to say the digging on this job, because it had been a building site for so long with a house demolished and then a new one put up, the digging was absolutely awful. Rocks, concrete, chalk, flint, all sorts of things. And here's the fence going up. Worked out really well, looks really tidy, and you'll see right at the end how good it looks. Provides a screen, allows the air to go through it.
Turn us to thousands, and we'll grow in number, fueled by them to see the horizon. Turn us to thousands, and on we'll go. Through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays, and on we'll go.
And here's the fence on the other side. So the idea with this is that we're taking it down to 6 foot. The fence next to it was at about 6.5 foot, and not the best fence in the world, but we wanted to make our fence look as good as possible and as tidy as possible. And here's the small sections at the front on the terracing, just to make sure the dog can't jump off. We put a little return on the back of each one to make sure the dog couldn't walk up the edge of the wall and then jump off over the fencing and over the gates.
Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go. Through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays, and on we'll go. Through the wastelands, through the highways.
And the bottom post there, we left in. We took the old fence out, and the idea was that we're going to be moving the fence back 1 metre off that bottom wall there. However, in the end, the fence ended up right back on the bottom wall again. There's some other things happening in the future that may mean that having it 1 metre back would not work out.
Finding life along the way, melodies we haven't played. No, I don't want no rest. Echo.
Right, so this went really well. Unfortunately, there were a couple of breakdowns with a different grab company at first, but we had Steve Brooks turn up to bring the 15 tons of topsoil, so we managed to get that in a couple of hours. Really good. The fact that you could grab it up over the wall and put it directly into the wheelbarrows without spilling very much of it was really impressive. And then if you'd seen the road and the access, he had to reverse and do a few tricky manoeuvres in order to get to the site. And here we have the finished product. Here's the front. Put verticals on there. We put a 2x8 board on the top just to finish it off. Really does look very nice. Down the side here, looking brilliant.
We'll grow in number, fueled by them to see the horizon.
Can't see too much of the hedge. At the side, we did have to take a holly out from there.
Fueled by them to see the horizon.
Here we've got the change plan, so we had to do a fence here and an extra gate, a little bit more fencing, but we've built a really solid gate at the top there, keep that side secure.
Till my shadow turns to sun rays, and on we'll go.
this job went really well. We were delayed a couple of times by the weather and a couple of times by deliveries that didn't quite make it on time due to nobody's fault, breakdowns and things like that. The biggest transformation, I would say, is actually that future lawn area. That was pretty hopeless at the beginning, but now there should be plenty of material there, good quality topsoil for wildflowers or grass to grow in. If there's anything you'd like to see in these videos, any more detail, leave it in the comments. Like and subscribe for more.